something I gotta share with all of y'all out there. The other day, this maybe about 2 weeks ago actually, I just forgot to share with y'all when it happened. A gentleman pulled up at one of my offices where I always, get my reading in and planning, plotting, strategizing. He was like, "Hey man, I don't know if you remember me, but I was here the other day with my wife and you were listening to some audio. I don't know who it was." I said, "Yeah, it was Jim Rohn." He said, "Yeah, man, I was telling my wife that young man over there, he's going places, man. He's really gonna, I don't know what he's into, but I can just tell by what he's listening to, he's going places." And he stood up in front of me, right up in front of me. This is an older white guy in his 60s. He said, "I got children your age." He said, "I'm gonna tell you right now, man." He said, "Keep being a student. He said, whatever you do, young man, do not stop being a student. Keep learning." He said, "I see you were listening to that audio." And then he said, "I see you had your book there." He said, "Man, I encourage you." He said, "I have several degrees. And I'm telling you," he said, "that's cool and everything, but be a student. Continue to be a student in life and of life." And I said, "Thank you for sharing that." I said, "That's how I live my life every day. That's what I do every single day. I make sure that I exercise this mind muscle as well as my body." He said, "Man, you going places, young man." Fast forward, there's another older white gentleman that I always see at the Starbucks that I'm at. And every time I see this man, he's got his face buried in the book. Now this man looks like he can be my grandfather. And he always sees me and he'll point to the books I'm reading and he just laughed like he just left here a little while ago. And he was like, "All right, young man." But when I see him, he's taking notes, he's highlighting. And I said, this man is old enough to be my grandfather and he's in here every time I see him, buried in the book, doing the same thing that the other gentleman told me, being a student. And I encourage all of y'all, no matter what your age, no matter what your race, no matter what your sexual orientation is, I'm telling you, there's so much valuable, powerful information out there. Keep studying, keep learning, keep, broadening your horizon, man, and exercising this thing here, and continue to fill your mind up with good news, with inspiration, with powerful stories about people and things you never knew about. Whatever it is that you're interested into, and even stepping outside your comfort zone to read things and learn things that you may not quote unquote be interested in, overall, but you may say, "Hey man, I'll read a book about science. I'll read a book about biology. I'll read a book about nature, about relationships." You never know what you learn and you read in those paragraphs that'll turn on the lights in your head and inspire something great inside of you. So once again, continue to be a student every day of your life, not just in books. I don't want y'all to, mix that up. I'm not saying just reading, right? But living and learning, doing more listening than talking. You could listen to personal development audio, you could read books, you can go to seminars, you can go to art museums, you can go to comedy shows, you can learn from different environments and different people, but stretch and live outside, stretch yourself, live outside your comfort zone and watch and see what happens. So I'm just telling you, man, like I was told, continue to be a student and watch what happens. Take that and run with it. One love.